Hey, Hillside. Well, I've been reading in First Peter, and this is a letter written to Christians who are scattered and living amongst the world. And it's really an encouragement to not give in, to not give in to the temptation to live like the world, but to be different, to look different, despite what persecution or whatever may come your way and what temptation comes your way. And he focuses really on behavior, on what they're doing, not so much what they're saying, right? And it reminded me of the quote attributed to St. Francis of Assisi, which is preach the gospel at all times and when necessary, use words. And then he also says, though, in First Peter, when you do use words, when you are required to give an answer, tells us how and do it, graciously and all this. And however, it's focused on just way you live different, be different with your lives. And I thought, why is it that it's so important to not just go to words? And it reminded me of all the other things in Scripture that talk about that our tongue is. I was like, well, in my notes I put use words sparingly because they get us into trouble, because it talks about the power of our tongue all over Scripture. Mainly, I think of Proverbs and James, right? James talking about the power of the tongue. It's this little thing, but it sets the course of your whole life. And with your tongue, like the same tongue, in one sentence you're speaking blessings and the next you're cursing, right? Or in Proverbs it says life and death are in the power of the tongue. Or when words are many, sin is not lacking, right? And there's so many other things about talking about fools are the ones who speak quickly and all these things. And so we don't want to go right to our words, because oftentimes when we're speaking, sometimes our mouth gets ahead of our head and we're not letting God speak, and sometimes it's our words and they get us into trouble. But if we just act and we're just being God and acting the way that he would want us to, it's a far better witness, because our words often then kind of sometimes hinder our witness, because they might antagonize people, or they come out wrong or rude or whatever, or we hurt people, offend people, or in the heat of our anger or our emotions say something we don't want to say. So that's why I thought, that's why maybe we don't go to words right away, but we just live different and be different, because our words, if we're not careful, can get us in a lot of trouble. So that was just something I was thinking about today, wanted to share with you. So I'm thinking about, how I make sure I use my words sparingly, but make my actions a louder witness than my tongue. See you next time.